What's good, y'all? It's Baller Life. I know it's been a minute, but this topic brought me back. I had to make a video on this because this is insane. I know I'm a couple days late to this report, but I thought I'd kind of just get past all the hype. And I know that he still, like, the statement that he made was kind of cryptic, but Dame might request a trade, y'all. And that's crazy. I honestly can't really believe it. That, of course, him being at Team USA and all these things come out from these random sources, and of course Dame, he's always the guy to be like, bro, that's complete BS, that's complete booty crap. And of course he addressed the public, and it was kind of weird because it was like a 2-minute interview where Dame basically just said like nothing about my future is decided yet, which is like interesting because Dame is one of those players that like we've known forever. He is literally the definition of loyalty. Like, if you could talk about loyalty, like Kobe spending his whole season or his whole career with the Lakers, Dirk spending his whole career with the Mavericks, people like that, like that's just straight loyalty. Like Paul Pierce with the Celtics, even though he got traded, like that's just straight loyalty. And of course Dame, he's 31 now, and he's given everything to this team. And to be completely honest, there's no way that you can look at me straight in the face and say, unless, of course this sucks for Trailblazers fans, but for everyone else in the NBA, I'm so excited. I've been a Dame fan forever. How can you not love Dame? The historic performances he's given us and he's given to Portland itself. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't look at me in the face and just say, hey, Dame doesn't deserve to be traded. Like, he shouldn't ask out for a trade. Like, are you crazy? To me, this is the philosophy I always had, is that a rookie has through their whole, an organization has basically a rookie until through their rookie extension and through their max to figure out what they're doing. And of course, we saw it with Anthony Davis, and we've even seen some crazy reports with Luka and Zion, which is insane to even think about that they would even request a trade. But now with Dame, and of course with that cryptic kind of, of course, basically in the interview, he just said nothing is decided, and more than likely he's probably going to go back to Portland. But there's a chance now. Before, there was zero chance that he was going to leave Portland, which I don't blame him. Of course, we've seen that this team with CJ McCollum and Yusuf Nurkic and whoever else he has around him, they're just not a championship level team. And yeah, there's some great performances and memories in there. Of course, who can forget the shot that he hit over Paul George? The bad shot, bro. That is literally a meme that will live on in infamy with PG. I feel like that's the day that the playoff P thing really just started completely evolving into the way it is today. Shout out to PG. He had a great playoffs this year. He took him to the conference finals for the first time without Kawhi. Shout out to him. But that meme, plus you got the game winner, game 6 over Houston. You've got, there's just countless memories you can think of. Them going to the conference finals and playing the Warriors. There's just a ton of memories. And of course, there's been success like that conference finals appearance. But, this is just, they're not a championship level team. They don't really have any defense. You could say Robert Covington, who has been a good defender at times in his league, at times in his career. And yeah, he's a good off-ball defender, good team defender, but he's not like Rudy Gobert or someone that's going to transform your defense completely. And of course, we see when Yusuf Nurkic, who unfortunately he was looking really nice before he broke his leg, and that was kind of it, and he hasn't really been the same since, defensively anyway. So, of course, this team, and I don't see a way where they can make a trade except for maybe the Ben Simmons one for CJ, but I don't think that's a good trade for the Sixers, and we'll kind of get into that later in the video where I'm going to go over trade offers. But shout out to Dame, bro. He deserves this more than anyone else in the world. If anyone deserves to get out of Portland, and I'm not even saying it in a bad way. I know Portland fans have been so supportive of Dame, and I don't want to attack anybody out there that supports Portland. But Dame deserves this, man. He really does deserve this. He's 31 now. He's on the wrong side of 30. He's getting older, and these are his championship years. And, of course, Dame, he's got I think he's got 4 years left on his contract. So even if, they didn't want to trade him, he would just stay there. But, of course, with the way the NBA is today, he requests a trade, and he can probably go to a few places of his choosing. And of course, everyone, oh my god, the Lakers fans, bro, on Twitter is something else, bro. These Lakers fans with the Kuzma and the second round pick with THT, you guys are undefeated with keeping me funny. But yeah, there's no way the Lakers are ever getting Dame without trading Anthony Davis, which wouldn't make sense to me because I think AD and LeBron are a better fit than Dame and LeBron. So I don't know. That's definitely not going to happen. But I have 5 trade offers here that I've kind of put together a few of these myself, and the rest of them have kind of just been people on Twitter that I thought, okay, this is a good trade. How can we work this around? So the first one is the 76ers. Trailblazer, 76ers, sending Ben Simmons, getting rid of him. Of course, we saw this year when they played the Hawks in the playoffs that, I mean, the process is basically done. Like, you know, if there was any questions about if Ben and Joel can play together, I mean, unfortunately, Ben is just not aggressive enough, and I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I'm telling you, the Twitterverse is crazy. All these people with their, like, only 1 first-round pick and Malcolm Brogdon, like, the value of Ben Simmons, he has a lot of value, and I think that if Portland could get him for CJ, that'd be a great move for them. I don't think it would put them in championship-level contention, especially out in the West with how rough and how many teams are going to be coming back. I mean, this year it was rough, and Phoenix barely got out, and next year when LeBron and AD are healthy, we've got a healthy Clippers with Kawhi. If Kawhi comes back, you know, the Mavericks with Luka getting better. I mean, you know, to me, it just makes more sense for Portland to go this direction, to where you get Ben Simmons, who's a young player. I think he's like 25. He's on his max deal. You can even, I mean, potentially, if you really want to, you could trade him for someone else, and who that is, I don't know, but Ben Simmons, a really quality asset. You can build around him. I mean, not like, that's not what I meant. I meant more like as in keeping him there and keeping a good player in the franchise. You get Ben Simmons, who's a good player, makes the contracts work. You get Tyrese Maxey and 3 first-round picks, including the 28th pick this year. So when I first saw this trade originally, I saw someone throw in Matisse Thybulle for Dame, and to me, I feel like the 76ers will be able to pull this off with just Ben Simmons and Tyrese Maxey, along with the 3 first-round picks. I feel like that's good enough value for Dame. I know that sounds crazy, you know, for Damian Lillard, but I think 3 first-round picks, unprotected, including the one from this year, which, of course, is like the 20th pick because they were the first seed in the East. But Ben Simmons is a good player, like I said, to develop around. You can trade him for someone else, maybe even a star. And then Tyrese Maxey, good young player with really good potential. And for the Trailblazers, in this scenario, I mean, you'd probably be trading CJ as well. I mean, to me, I would just blow everything up. Trade CJ, trade Nurkic, get off of Robert Covington, just go straight rebuild, get as many assets, as many draft picks, basically just doing what the OKC Thunder have done. And, I mean, look at them. They're in a prime position to basically just reload, get a good player in this draft, build around Shea, and, I mean, the Trailblazers can do it. On the 76ers side, I mean, you're getting back Dame. Is there anything more to say? I mean, and you're keeping Seth Curry and Tobias Harris. I mean, potentially re-signing Danny Green, Dwight Howard, good role players. I mean, we'd have a starting lineup of Dame, Seth Curry, Tobias Harris, your pick of Danny Green or someone else, and Joel Embiid. I mean, that's good enough to championship contend, not even in the East and the West. I mean, just in general, that's a team that can win in the East. I mean, you put Dame with Joel Embiid and, oh my gosh, I'm just thinking of that right now. I'm a Heat fan, so like we'd get completely obliterated, but that'd be so much fun, and I'd be so happy for both those players. So yeah, to me, the 76ers, I mean, if you can do this, do it. With all means, as many draft picks as you can, even if they're asking for like 5, Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle. I mean, because the Sixers, they have a lot of assets. And Ben Simmons is a really big asset that can, you know, he's on his max extension, 4 years left. You know, he's not like on an expiring. You can trade him. I think this is a good trade for both sides. And I think for Portland, it allows them to rebuild, 76ers to instantly contend with Dame. Alright, let's move on to the next one, which is the Knicks. Now, the Knicks one is interesting to me because I feel like, I mean, I don't know, Dame on the Knicks, like, I know it sounds great, but is it good enough to really compete with the Nets, the 76ers, they make a trade, you know, who else? I mean, I don't know. I mean, Dame would be loved in New York, of course, especially with the fans back. I mean, you saw it when they played the Hawks in the first round with Julius Randle as their best player. Like, no disrespect to Randle at all. But, you know, he's not the most flashy player out there, and they still were packing the guard and talking so much trash to Trae Young. It's crazy. Well, let's go ahead and look at and see what the Trailblazers get. So, the Trailblazers, we get RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, quickly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 first-round picks, including the number 19 pick this year and the 21st pick this year, which is from the Kristaps Porzingis trade with Dallas. So, let's talk about the Trailblazers get here. So, you're getting RJ Barrett, who's an interesting young player, had a good bounce-back season this year. I think he averaged like 18 this year. Showed a potential for actually shooting, good slasher, could potentially become a good playmaker. Maybe you could build around him, maybe not, I don't know. Obi Toppin, a good young player, Don't know if there's a lot there. I mean, he didn't really show it this much because he didn't get the minutes. Maybe there is something there, maybe there isn't. But, you know, if Portland was potentially able to blow it up, then you could be able to give someone like Obi Toppin, especially quickly, a lot of minutes, who we saw this year. Not afraid of the moment at all in the playoffs, can knock down some threes, really good playmaker, just a smart basketball player, and I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. On top of, how many picks again? 5 first-round picks, including the ones from Dallas in the Porzingis trade. For Dame, I mean, this is pretty good value. You get 5 first-round picks, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, and quickly, I mean, that's a pretty solid young core already, including the 5 picks that you're getting. But for the New York Knicks, I mean, you're getting Damian Lillard. I mean, a guy that can completely transform this franchise, take them from being a good playoff team to potentially even a top 3 seed in the East. I mean, they were a 4 seed this year, but, like, if everyone was healthy, the Celtics were looking weird. The Heat definitely dealt with injuries, so, you know, we'll see. But Dame on the Knicks, you know, like I said, Madison Square Garden he would sell out of his jersey instantly. They would love him. You know, it'd definitely be an interesting fit, so, I don't know. Dame on the Knicks, it would be fun. I'm definitely counting on that. All right, let's move on to the next trade here. We got the Warriors trade, which is definitely interesting. I'll go ahead and get to the Warriors side. Let me do the Trailblazer side first. You're getting Andrew Wiggins, Eric Pascal, James Wiseman, and 3 first-round picks. So in this case, you're getting the Minnesota pick and your pick from this year. So 2 lottery picks, the number 7 and number 14 pick. You're getting Wiggins, who fills the contract, Eric Pascal, and James Wiseman, along with a future first-round pick. This could be an interesting trade. I think for Wiggins, I think if I was Portland and I was looking to blow it up, I would just try to get rid of him. I mean, he's got 2 years left on his deal. He shouldn't be that hard to get rid of for someone. Who's that someone? I don't know. Ben Simmons, maybe, if you package it with a pick or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I think Andrew Wiggins would be gone. Eric Pascal and James Wiseman, though. James Wiseman obviously has more potential than Eric Pascal. Pascal's he's a nice role player, a good cutter, a good mid-range shooter. Just an interesting energy guy. I mean, you could probably trade him for another asset if you want, but Wiseman will probably be the young person that you're most interested in this deal. I don't really know about Wiseman. I was really high on him going into last year's draft. You know, I feel like he's definitely got potential. He's just really raw this year, you know? He just looked like a real rookie, you know, whereas LaMelo, Tyrese Halliburton, a few other guys, Anthony Edwards were looking like, you know, stars coming in. He just looked like a rookie, which there's nothing wrong with that. You know, we're going to have to see. Have to give him all of his rookie contract to see where he can develop, but definitely got potential. Could shoot the 3 a little bit, can put the ball on the floor. If he can learn his defensive stuff, then, you know, he could be maybe a potential building block for them over in Portland. And you're getting the 7th pick and the 14th pick, 2 lottery picks in this good stacked draft. I mean, for Dame. And speaking of Dame over on the Warriors, that would be a really interesting deal. I mean, we're talking Dame, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. I mean, that's a super small lineup. Don't know how you keep up the defense, but you would put up like 200 points a game. I mean, that's insane. Steph and Dame, that's crazy. I mean, we saw it in the All-Star game a little bit, but this genuinely would be insane. That's crazy. I mean, I think it would be a good trade for them. Don't really know about the fit. I'd like Ben Simmons more in Golden State, but Dame and Steph could be a really big dynamic duo, along with, you know, if Klay comes back and he's like 80-90% of what he was, you know, which is pretty much just a shooter, which is good for him because, you know, he doesn't really rely on his athleticism, so we could see it, you know, Steph, Klay, Dame, Draymond Green, whoever else at the 5, you know, whether it's Kevon Looney or someone else. I mean, you know, of course, and what I would do is I would stagger Dame's minutes, have him come off the bench. I mean, this could be a legit team, you know? I mean, it sounds weird in practice, but I mean, we saw CP3 and Harden kind of fit together for 1 year, so I don't know. It's kind of different because Dame is more on ball and Steph is a lot more off ball along with Klay. So I don't know. It could be interesting, but let's go ahead and move on to the next trade. Alright, so here we got the Nuggets trade, which I feel like is more of a out of left field trade, but it really makes a lot of sense the more you think about it, which is Trailblazers getting Jamal Murray, Bobo, and 3 future first round picks, including a 26th pick in this draft for Damian Lillard. Now, let me explain myself here. I know you might be thinking, like, why would Denver trade Jamal Murray, especially after he had a good season? Well, for the Denver side, Dame and Jokic just takes you to another stratosphere. I mean, the offense would be incredible. They could probably fix up the defense. I mean, Jamal Murray wasn't an amazing defender. He was getting better. But I think Jamal Murray and Damian Lillard aren't that far off, especially defensively, as long as you can hide him, especially with Michael Malone's offense, or defense, sorry. But it would definitely be a really good fit. I mean, Dame, would be able to be more off ball with Jokic, and of course the 3-point shooting. I mean, it would be insane. How would you even switch a Jokic Dame pick and roll or a pick and pop? That would be incredible. I mean, you could see Dame setting picks for Jokic. Of course, the other way around. I mean, it would just be incredible, and it'd be a really good get, in my opinion, for the Nuggets, as it would take them from a really good playoff team into championship contenders. For the Trailblazer side, you're getting Jamal Murray, who this year would have been an all-star if he would have been healthy and hadn't unfortunately tore his ACL. You're getting Bol, who's a young player who has shown potential at times, was really good in college, can shoot the 3. If he can maybe put on some more weight, be able to move side to side, maybe you can put him out there. And you're getting 3 first-round picks. I mean, to me, the big thing here is Jamal Murray. With his ACL, while it might seem like a bad thing, you might be able to just say, hey, Jamal Murray's going to be hurt this season. That's fine. We'll be able to give some of our young players a lot more minutes, be able to trade away CJ McCollum, try and get another young piece in here, maybe potentially move up in the draft someone, give them a lot of minutes this year, get another good pick next year, draft someone good next year, and then reload and restock with Jamal Murray, potentially some other young player. Maybe if you can get Ben Simmons for CJ, or another, and then a potential good pick next year. I mean, along with Bol, who's got potential, and 3 first-round picks. I mean, this is a solid trade. I mean, Jamal Murray is a really good player, and we've seen him go crazy in the playoffs, especially in the bubble. So, this is a good trade. I really like it a lot, as it gives Denver the ability to just jump up into contender status, and for Portland, it allows them to reset, trade away all their players that they currently have for young pieces and assets, and just hit the reset switch, and then come back next year when Jamal Murray's healthy. Alright, let's go on to the next trade. So here we got the New Orleans Pelicans, who, of course, pairing up Dame and Zion. So for Portland, they're getting Steven Adams, who's a contract filler, Brandon Ingram, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, along with 3 first-round picks, one of which is the 10th pick this year, and 2 picks from the Lakers. So for Portland, this is, again, another deal that allows them to just kind of hit the reset switch, be able to bring in Steven Adams, and you could either, honestly, if you really want to, you could see, hey, let's see what Nickeil Alexander-Walker has potential-wise. Maybe he could run point for us. Brandon Ingram, we've seen what he is, a good scorer, pretty good defender, really good enough playmaker, good 3-point shooter. Steven Adams, a good center, good big man, but, in my opinion, what I would do is trade away Steven Adams, get some more assets, keep Brandon Ingram, see how much more he can develop, keep Nickeil Alexander-Walker, of course, he's got a lot of potential, really big guard, has definitely looked good at sometimes. We'll see what we get with him, along with the 10th pick in a good draft class. This is a pretty good deal for me, and 2 future firsts for Dame. This isn't bad, because Steven Adams, you could flip him probably for another first-round pick, and then keep Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Brandon Ingram with potential. This is actually really another good trade that allows them to potentially either hit the reset button or maybe even just keep being good. It's up to them in this trade. But for New Orleans, you're getting Damian Lillard, who of course is no offense to Lonzo, he's a good 3-point shooter. I love me some Lonzo, but way better than Lonzo. Allows Zion to have someone else who can not only space out the floor, but to create his own offense and relieve Zion at sometimes. It also gives New Orleans a little bit more cap flexibility, as they're going to get $10 million in cap in this trade. So, potentially going out there and getting someone for Zion as a center that fits him better. You never know. But this is a pretty good trade for both sides. I actually like it a lot. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, and I lied. There aren't any more trades. That's it. So, out of all these trades, they're actually not that bad. If you had to trade Damian Lillard, of course, Portland wants to keep him. And I just saw a report today that said that they're trying as hard as they can. It was a really confusing report, but basically they're trying to keep him any way they can. I don't know, but this isn't a bad deal at all. All these deals, you're going to be able to either hit the reset button. My favorite right now is either the Denver trade or the New Orleans trade, as you're getting. And, they're all pretty good, but the New Orleans and Denver ones in particular, because you're getting back 2 All-Stars who have proven themselves, along with future first-round picks. So, this is pretty good. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Peace out.